Okay, first of all, I'd like to explain to everybody what this slide deck is that we're going to go through today. Maria Sotra, our marketing manager, recently put this deck together, and I found it to be an awesome overview of the Geotab solution. We found answers to RFP questions and all kinds of other good data in this deck, and we wanted to share it with the resellers. This too will be published on MyAdmin following this session. But I wanted to kind of go over the deck with you guys and show you what we've put together. I think you'll find it to be a very valuable resource for you. Geotab, as you know, originated in South Africa in 1996. 2000, it was moved to North America. We are an engineering firm. We tend to stick to what we're good at, and that's why we have our awesome partnership with you, our resellers. You guys do the customer side of it, and we build really cool widgets. We do have some very large fleets in the Fortune 500. 30% of the top 10 fleets are utilizing the Geotab solution today, and 10% of the top 100 fleets in North America rely on the Geotab technology. There's some press releases and such. There's some videos and links embedded in this slide deck. I'm probably not going to play them for us today, but they will be live and viable links when you get the deck so that you can use them in your own presentations. Just kind of looking back over the years, I thought it was interesting to kind of see the evolution of the product. Back before my time, we had the Go 1, which was our product line based in 1997 to 2002. And then we had the Go 2 and the Go 2 Lite. 2004-2005, we launched Go Live, and we had the Go 2 J1708 engine diagnostic hardware. 2006 to 2009, we added Go 3 Wi-Fi and Go 4 V2. 2010, we launched Go 4 V3, Go 5, and Checkmate 5.3. In 2011, we brought out the awesome Go 5 with the Checkmate 5.5 software and really started talking about driver behavior management, in-vehicle alerts, accelerometers, and all that good data set. In 2012, we started with our SuperSense indoor GPS enhancement. We have a Go Recover feature where you can find a lost asset. The exact track, second-by-second GPS tracking and our patented algorithm where we can have enough data points to tell what's going on, but not a lot of extra data. We had some smartphone apps in 2012. We had our Go 6 hardware and our 5.6 software, and we did our first actual versus posted road speed exceptions. 2013, we added started bringing out a lot of these IOX Expandability features. IOX NFC for driver identification, the IOX buzzer, which allowed us to make the Go 6 in-vehicle feedback louder for heavy-duty trucking markets. We brought out My Geotab, kind of changed the name, and brought out My Geotab 5.7. You'll remember My Geotab is what we call our software today, and it's a versionless software. We try to update that software the first week of every month with new features, new functions, new capabilities. We've added the awesome SDK, the Garmin HOS, and the Geotab Drive Hours of Service and DVIR application. Busy year for us in 2013. In 2014, we released the IOX Dickie John DJ. We have the Go 7 product being released in June-July timeframe that will be specific to the Verizon network when it first launches. I believe there is a Canadian flavor, and John Day can clarify. I believe it's going to be a Rogers. Just kind of wanted to give you an idea about where Geotab is today. Last year, we outsold all of the other telematics solutions providers. We have over 400,000 deployed to date, 200,000 live subscriptions, and we're adding, on average, about 10,000 devices per month. And that's sales through the reseller channel. Okay. Total new units in 2013 was 105. Total new units in 2012 was 65,000. That's 144% growth between 2012 and 2013 from our sales channel partners. In other words, we can't do this without you guys. A lot of our resellers were able to leverage the Geotab SDK to extend more value to the customers, and that SDK is one of the big market differentiators. It really separates us from the other guys. Our stakeholders, we have about 90 resellers in North America, Europe, Japan, Australia, South America, and Africa. In-house, we have just about 100 employees now. If you come to our offices, you'll notice that we're stacked to the rafters. We have lots and lots of engineers and developers. Most of our engineers, developers, and support technicians are very highly educated, PhDs, masters. That level of education is the norm at Geotab. Electrical engineers, computer scientists are your technical support services. Our consultative sales team, myself, Carrie, Heather, Angie, the team that you know, is here to support you and to work with you guys to make sales. With that, we have our technical services team to help us answer questions, and our product is certified on the AT&T network for Go 6, Rogers and Telus, Sprint, Telenor, T-Mobile, soon to be Verizon on the Go 7, and then Nextel International as well as certified. So lots and lots of carrier options around the world, and more coming all the time. Our customers, Geotab counts, and these numbers change on an almost monthly basis. We could probably update this every single month and you'd see the tremendous growth. 7,500 customers, individual customers, 96,000 end users, the world's largest provider of telematics to the enterprise fleets. And remember, the value that we have is we take all of the lessons learned from these big fleet companies and pass them down to all of the small fleets as well. So what we learn about fuel and electrical and oil and coolant, we don't branch our code. We give that same lessons learned, that same knowledge to everybody that we work with. Just an interesting graphic here on the growth of Geotab. In May of 2013, you can kind of see our saturation and our footprint. In February of 2014, you can see that we've expanded to different continents, lots more coverage in continents. Very interesting view of the data. I will point out that Africa has very few devices in it because the data set that we're looking here doesn't include the African, South African store and forward servers. Industry recognition. It's nice to know that you're doing business with people that are well respected and are held among the highest in their industry. We're on the Deloitte Fast 50 and Fast 500 3 consecutive years in a row. We're named Connected World's 2013 and 2014 most prestigious Connected World 100 list among the top 100 M2M companies. We're top 20 Logistics Technology Consulting Award, top 3 telematics provider in the, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it, top 20 Logistics Technology Consulting Award, and a Microsoft certified partner. So in the industry, in the technology field, we're very well recognized for what we do for you guys. I think that we have a unique ability to be very agile. Because we build our own hardware, our own software, and our own firmware, we have the ability to make changes and to adjust as the industry changes. You know, the Go 7 product is going to be a real game changer, I think, in the industry. But you have to remember, we started work on that product and how it was going to be and how we were going to make it as awesome as it is 24 months ago. So Geotab is working all the time on the next big thing. There's probably a Go 8 and a Go 9 somewhere in the development skunk works, always bringing out something new to you. By manufacturing our own hardware, we control the quality. We can monitor and make adjustments as needed. We build our own firmware, which allows us to cater for use cases where your customer needs a certain piece of data off of a vehicle. With our remote scan tool, we can connect to that vehicle, figure out how they're communicating that data, build it into our firmware, test it, beta test it, and run it through the deployment production firmware. Because again, we don't branch our code. If it's a good piece of data to have, we make that data available across the board. And then our software development is constantly ongoing. As I said before, you're going to see updates to the My Geotab servers on the first week of every month. It does take a little time to roll those changes through all of the servers, so you might get it on the 7th or the 10th or whatever, depending upon where you fall, but we're trying to upgrade everybody on the 1st of each month. It gives us the ability to have that quality control from the beginning to the end of the process. It's not like we're going to go blame somebody else because it's all our product. We try to focus on simplicity. I think that you'll see in the advantages that we're coming out with the Go 7 product, some simplified harnesses. The eUni harness is actually getting reworked because there's not an install pack coming with a Go 7. We're putting longer leads on the eUni harness, calling it an EZT, so that you don't have to have an install pack and an eUni. You can just use a uni to move the device out of the way. You get longer reach to find a better positioning spot for that device under the dash of the vehicle. Again, trying to be simpler, reducing the number of things you have to order, the number of things you have to understand to do business with Geotab. As the market changes, we're trying to stay on the front edge of that. Our Android Hours of Service application, I think, is an awesome example of that. Yes, there were Android applications out there before, but I don't think that they have the ease of use and get as high marks from the actual end user drivers that log on the system. They're very, very pleased with how simple and easy to use our application is. The Go device, Go 6, Go 7, Go 37, it's never going to stop. Very intelligent in-vehicle coaching. In 2014 here, we're going to launch a text-to-speech speaker. It's a little microcomputer, actually, that will allow you to give in-vehicle feedback to a driver and give it specific information about what's wrong. So those of us who've been working with the Go devices for a period of time know that we start beeping when you go over 70 miles an hour and we stop beeping when you slow down. That's just the way our system is. But in the vehicle, we can now make it so that it will tell the driver to slow down, he's going too fast, or he's left his area of service, or any of a number of things that you may want to speak to that driver as he's having an event. So all of these things are coming later this year, but it takes our quality recording, it takes that really fast acquisition time, the ease of the installation, the engine diagnostics is top-notch across the board. It is awesome. And the IOX just allow us to keep adding expandable features. So, we talked about the Valor temperature sensing monitoring system. We have other things that are coming that you can utilize for these add-ons. It allows us to keep the door open to build whatever the next thing is that organizations want. Okay, we have our accident reconstruction. If you've not been on the Geotab forum and seen the awesome write-up on how to do an accident reconstruction, I urge you to go and check that out. They've done an awesome job, and they actually give you several examples from accidents that our own technical services guys have experienced, so you can see a really good data set and understand how you can create the same for your fleets. Our reverse detection and harsh braking detection is top-notch. We do have dual protocol support on the Go 7. We do it on the Go 6, but we do it differently on the Go 7. If you're ever plugged into a heavy-duty truck and you look at the engine status data, you'll notice that there's certain data that comes in and says it's a J1708, and other data sets that come in through the status data that's listed as J1939. That's because those trucks actually speak both protocols. Our device has to be smart enough to talk to both. In the Go 6 world, I ask the J1708 questions. I disconnect from the J1708. I connect to the J1939. I ask the questions. I disconnect. In a Go 7 world, I have two CAN protocols in the Go device itself, so I could stay connected to the J1708 and stay connected to the J1939, asking the questions independently and just having a richer data set altogether. I hope you understand that. We talked a little bit about the remote scan tool and how we don't have to fly an engineer around the world to get data off a particular vehicle. We can now just set up a remote scan tool session, toggle the thing we're trying to identify, seatbelt, PTO, whatever it is, on and off, capture how that data is being transmitted, and add that to our firmware. We handle hybrids, electrics, natural gas, CNG, compressed natural gas, all different kinds of vehicle types, providing different information throughout all of those different variable vehicles. The IOX Expandability, we talked about some of these already, but we have our NSC driver ID and or the immobilization on the driver ID. We have the Android devices for hours of service and DVIR, and there's functionality coming that will add to those applications. We have Garmin for hours of service and messaging, Iridium satellite, and our Iridium satellite is really just a safety backup. It's not transmitting all the data across satellite, it's just that emergency in extreme situations. Auxiliaries come in sets of 4. You can put 2 sets of 4 to monitor 8 different on-offs in a vehicle. You can have an external serial interface, and that can be RS-232M or F, male or female, depending upon what kind of device you're connecting to. The Dickie John salt and sand spreading, we talked about that before. The CAN connector, which is going to be an IOX CAN, which allows the Valor system, these are the things the gentleman were talking about a moment ago, how it can go from being a J1939 to being an OBD vehicle. It's going to be based on an IOX CAN so that the data can come in through the IOX CAN rather than the J1939 CAN. Just a concept of different ways to connect the technology to different types of vehicles with the same great functionality. And then the text-to-speech we spoke of before as well. And these expandability modules will continue to grow as the fleets tell us that they need new information and new systems. We're not limited, and you can have more than one IOX at a time, so you can do lots of really cool things that other systems can only dream about. Major differentiator for Geotab is that we've really created the building blocks for development. We have some awesome features and functions in our software, but we're not saying that that's the only thing that you could ever do with a system. Okay? The open architecture allows you to be partner agnostic. You can use any one of a variety of different routing partners and integrate the data back and forth. You can use different fuel cards and integrate the data back and forth. That's something that we're working on as well for later this year. Software Development Kit allows you to write data out of MyGeotab or bring data into the MyGeotab application. It's very cool the way that it works. The world-class APIs with documentations and code samples give you an amazing head start in how to do these things. I've never handed the SDK over to a developer that didn't act like he'd just gotten the best Christmas present on Christmas morning. It's like, to a non-developer it looks cool. To a developer, they really understand the power that you just put in their hands. The ability to create these add-ins, there's some really cool things that people are doing with add-ins. Add-ins can be a function or a feature that your customer wants that Geotab isn't really going to build in because it doesn't really have enough demand. I've got a great example. Have a fleet that sprays chemical herbicides. They cannot spray if the wind speed where they're spraying is greater than X. So they've created a layer. They brought in the weather data as an add-in and created a layer in the software that you can look at where the truck is, see what the wind speed is at that location right now. They also said, hey, well, if we go that far, because that's what the customer asked me, like, do you want to know if it's going to rain within the next 2 to 4 hours? I mean, what is it that would really make it easier for you to do these things? Awesome capabilities that really take what Geotab does and makes it unique to their own specific needs. Now, not every customer is going to care about that, but if you're spraying chemicals, there's probably another customer that would like to take use of that same add-in. Just trying to let you understand that what we have is a great building block, but you can completely make it your own and really change and add new things to it. You could create your own software or phone app. So if you wanted a let's call it a stolen vehicle recovery app, you could create just a simple little app with the SDK that goes out and looks for where that vehicle is right this second. Just put in the serial number, the name of the asset, whatever it is, the database, and you could find that information very, very quickly. It's just cool things that you can do above and beyond what the Geotab solution does at the moment. We talked about sharing and syncing data. Customer zones is a really common one. So my customers change, I lose some, I gain some, I need to sync my zones up. All of those things are capable with the SDK. You can take the map page from MyGeotab and drop it right inside of another application because of the way we write our app. You don't have to extract the data and populate it on your map. You can just take our map and put it in your app. These are the kind of things I think that really differentiates what Geotab is trying to do from just a telematics provider. Give you the power to make great things. And there's no cost to use our APIs or data feed. As long as you do it, it's not disruptive to the data flow, you can do whatever you want. Now, you know that in the latest version of My Geotab, you can toggle between Google and Bing Map. You also have OpenStreetMaps, which gives you the ability to use the Wikipedia of maps and all the good fun data that comes from there. You also have Mapbox and Esri GIS, Navtac, and OpenStreet's data. Lots of mapping flexibility, so you use the right map for the right function at the right time. So this Esri GIS stuff has become very, very popular. It's easily supported in the web-based solution. I think there's some forum posts on the mapping if you have questions. If anybody went to the Geotab Connect, you saw a ton of Geotab partners that were there to show what they've done communicating the data back and forth. The Navistar on-command dissection of fault codes is top-notch. It's amazing what they can do. So please keep that in mind. The TMW systems, the Appian routing and scheduling integration is completely done. The TMW suite is in the works. So that's, again, TMW suite is for the big tractor trailer, less than load, haul trucks. Very specific kind of application that you need to do that kind of thing. Mobileye is a collision avoidance camera system. It is different than other camera systems because it's not trying to capture video and play it back, and you got to have somebody find the good thing in the video and everything else. It's using cameras to detect where the vehicle is in the roadway. Where is it in relation to the dots on the side of the road, the lines on the road, the curb, or even just where the pavement drops off to grass. And it tells you that you're getting too close to departing from your lane. You did depart from the lane. You're not leaving enough space in front of the vehicle. You're backing into something. But it uses their cameras to create alerts, in-vehicle alerts to the driver to warn them of risks. So there's that. Now the Geotab GO device picks up all of those alerts, and it becomes like an added set of data for creating driver scorecarding and safety metrics for your fleet. Really cool functionality. We talked about Valor's temperature monitoring for the refrigerated compartments, but they also do some really awesome stuff with tire pressure monitoring. Again, same ease of use, plug and play kind of tire pressure monitoring. Awesome tools for probably big trucks. You got the two tiles side by side all the way around. You want to know what your tire pressure is on all your tires. You're not crawling around on the ground to get it. The device is going to tell you what the tire pressure is. Maps BI is dashboards and data analytics in a very easy to use add-in that you just drop inside the software. Very, very nice. If you haven't seen a demo on it, we can help secure that for you. You just have to ask. Profit Tools is another trucking software. Zone Defense is a camera system, but they do videos looking at the driver, looking forward on the driver, back on the driver's sides, whatever kind of camera system that you want. And they're building an add-in for the Geotab solution that allows you to see that video from an event in relation to the map. So really cool functionality coming there. Cirrus Link Solutions does those awesome IBM WebSphere integrations. There was a long discussion at the Connect meeting about how the oil and gas industry, this is a key component of what they're looking for. So nice to know you've got a partner who knows how to do that. Dock and Lock is the answer to unauthorized phone use while driving. You literally put the phone in a box and it locks it away, and the driver could not call, text, or do anything until he stops the vehicle and there's zero road speed, and then it allows you to open the box and get the phone out. We have our RAM mount systems, which are tablet mounts for hours of service, our Garmin hours of service and two-way messaging dispatch. Grace Industries is an awesome man-down alert system, and it goes beyond just a panic button or whatever. If they have systems that are as complex that if the lone worker stops moving and he's a mile away from the vehicle, it still can trigger the signal back to the vehicle, back to the home office, that this worker is down and needs assistance. So, if you want to take it to the next level, again, oil and gas, logging, places where guys are all alone, very, very valuable system, especially when paired with that satellite Iridium modem. We have Vulcan axle scales so that you can plug in and check the weight of a dump truck, a log truck, anything like that. And then BZ sensors, if you were at the Geotab Connect meeting, you saw the little remote control car that had the gas sniffer detection system built into it, connected to the GO device, bringing the data back for safety and security to identify very dangerous situations. So, productivity management from a 4 pillars kind of perspective. We all understand knowing where our assets are used or not used is very important to understanding the value to the fleet. Windshield time versus customer time is a classic metric. How much time do I spend getting to my customer? How much revenue did I generate from that particular stop? Predefined best-in-class business rules for your organization means the lessons learned are built in for all users to benefit. So a lot of times customers will ask us, well, what rules should I apply? Well, what thresholds should I have? Geotab has tried to build those in to make it easier for all customers to gain that immediate lessons learned and our return on investment. We have very, very, very flexible rule creation so that if you have, that example of the wind speed, if I have to check the wind speed, I need to know that he can't spray, or that it's going to rain, or that he's too close to such and such, he can't spray. Create very customized rules for a unique situation. Dispatching closest to using colors to highlight your vehicle groups and rules to separate out what is acceptable behavior amongst your different asset types. Dispatching to an asset, to an address. This can either be done using the SDK to pull in a route and sending it down to a Garmin, or just typing it in and sending it to a Garmin directly. Now, gotta love my screenshot on this one. Very, very accurate breadcrumb trail tracking. We're looking at a path through the Swiss Alps of our GO device, making a rather switchback and very detailed turn-by-turn trip through the mountains. Very, very granular data. Remember that we sample our data second by second, and then we use our patented algorithm to tell enough of the story that you can recreate that trip accurately with where they went, but not send too much data that's expensive to send across the cellular network and really doesn't add anything to explain what happened from point A to point B. Okay? When we talk about fleet, it's all about fuel. In the United States, the fuel's gone up very high, it's come down, it goes around, but it's still probably $3.70, $3.80 a gallon. And I know in Canada and Europe you're paying a lot more than that. But understanding how you can reduce any unnecessary fuel spend is critically important to fleets. So idle time, speeding, and extra miles are the key things. Fuel card integration will go beta in June of 2014. Routine maintenance and diagnosing engine fault codes. Knowing that you're not paying for a repair that the fault codes don't support, simple savings of money right there. Categorize and suggest the proper action for what's wrong with the vehicle without even having to be where the vehicle is. And then I think it's important to remember that non-fault data like low coolant and oil levels is still extremely valuable to a fleet. If I don't have enough coolant in my vehicle today, I certainly don't want to send it out on a route because it might have a problem, and then I'm paying for a tow truck and a missed delivery and all of that stuff. VIN recording on installation and after power reset is critically important, and I think we tend to take that thing for granted. That's something that's really wicked cool that we do that I don't think we get enough credit or we sell enough. Knowing which vehicle it's plugged into by the VIN is a huge win for everybody. Driver safety, posted road speed versus actual road speed is a big hot topic. The data set is getting better every day. You have the ability in the software to improve your local roads. If you have an issue, you can edit that road right in the UI, and it updates our map servers immediately, and then the map servers at OpenStreets are updated about once a month. So very cool way that we fed data backwards and forward. Geotab is very, very invested in OpenStreets maps. We think they are the future, and they do contain data sets that you can't get anywhere else. Seatbelt use with occupancy detection is oftentimes a very important thing. Driver seatbelts obviously important, but a lot of fleets don't insure for having a passenger in them because they're not supposed to have anybody riding along with them. If you get in an accident taking your buddy to the gym with you, he may not be covered under your insurance. So these are the kind of reasons why occupancy detection became a priority for any vehicle that we can capture that information on. We try to pass it through. Obviously, everybody understands the importance of after-hours vehicle use alerts. Off hours or the drowsy driving hours or using the vehicle for something other than what it was intended, all of these things cost the company money. Risk and safety reports with driver ratings to compare different drivers, and it's important that we think about comparing like drivers in like situations. I think that's an important piece of the whole thing. Our in-vehicle driver coaching, that immediate notice that something is wrong. I was talking with a reseller and a prospective customer last night, and when the Ford vehicle goes bong, bong, bong and tells the driver that he doesn't have a seatbelt on, it's between he and Ford. When the GO device beeps at him and tells him that he's driving greater than 6 miles an hour with his seatbelt off, he knows that his supervisor just got told that he was driving with his seatbelt off. That's a very different situation, and very important for making sure that we have our drivers complying with our rules. Our accident detection, I think we've had it for long enough that it automatically uploads the data, but it's amazing when you talk to the end user customers how cool that is. I don't have to go get it. I don't have to send it anywhere. It just goes. It just goes. You just have it. It's just there. 70 seconds of second-by-second data in case you need to know what happened before what happened. We have been leveraged for court cases. We've provided expert witnesses and helped our customers prove that they did nothing wrong. The backup detection via accelerometer or engine data is important to some fleets. Not every fleet care about backing up in the same way, but if it's important to a fleet, you've got some really powerful tools that are unique to Geotab, I think. And then our awesome curve-based logging, so you can get really detailed information without too much. Compliance, very open source and very flexible. It's important to remember that our application, the Geotab Drive application, is an HTML5 app. We launched it on Android first because Android is the easiest to work with. We are working on trying to work around the limitations of the Apple iOS operating system. We hope to have that for you later this year. Hours of service, DVR, IFTA miles, message and routing are coming. And then there's another little embedded video here, so I'll let you watch that on your own time. The whole crux of all of this PowerPoint is to try to help you convince your customers that Geotab is the future-proof telematics solution. It's not 2G. It's not going to be subject to the dying technology. It's 3G or the new Verizon CDMA, which is a 10-year platform, just so you know. It covers everything that you could want and then things that you might not even imagine that you want yet. When we did some analytics last fall, we found that the average Geotab customer has been with Geotab for 7.5 years. So our customers don't go shopping. They don't leave us. They upgrade to the next generation of our technology because there's nowhere. Why would they leave? Why would they go anywhere else? We've always got them covered for whatever they want. Their productivity needs, their fleet needs, their compliance needs, and their safety needs. And as those things change, we've built this awesome flexible system that can change with them. They've got nothing to lose and everything to gain by choosing Geotab as their partner. Are there any questions, Carrie, that we need to address?
No, I haven't seen any. Of course, one of the questions being, when is this going to be available? I'm just going to touch it up and make it work for PowerPoint, and then I'll get it out there next week. That would be one question. Another one is the messaging button. I just noticed that as well. We'll update that. It's not out yet. It will be. It'll be there soon. There was a messaging button on one of those screenshots. And I think, how long will the fuel card integration be in beta? Well,
how long is string? I don't know. When we get into beta, we'll know how, we'll know what works and what doesn't work. I will tell you that Geotab, just like all the other things that we went through here, Geotab is not taking the standard tack of, oh, here's the latitude and longitude of the pump, and here's the latitude and longitude of the truck, therefore it's this. It's that and a whole lot more data. So I think you'll be pleased, and we'll just have to see how it works, which card providers it works well with, which ones don't provide enough information. There's a lot of things we don't know yet, but we're working on it, okay?
Yes, and that is continuously going through testing to try and tweak it more and more. So we can't give you a date. We can just tell you that we haven't shelved it. It's certainly going through its testing and is progressing forward. I think that about covers all of the questions that we have here. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who has come and joined us. And on that note, I'm going to sign off and say thank you for coming, and we will see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.